Alright, hi guys, welcome to my next playthrough. Today we're going to be doing a playthrough of one of my favorite games from when I was a kid. It's called Below the Root. It was released back in 1984, I believe, for the Apple II. I never had an Apple II growing up, always had the Commodore 64, which had a little better graphics and sound quality is a little better. But before we get into the game, I just want to give a quick history on Green Sky, which is a planet that we're living on in this game. And how we got to this planet of Green Sky was their old planet that these human people are living on was being destroyed by war. I mean, they're constantly warring with each other, and the planet was on the verge of destruction. So they took a group of their top peace-loving and hospitable people they could find, and they all got on a spaceship and flew over here to Green Sky, a new planet that they named that because of the color of the sky. And their goal was to create a society that was completely without violence and did just completely breed violence out of people, just basically to see if it could be done. It's basically a science experiment that after only a couple generations managed to succeed. But then there was a conflict between the two leaders that actually started this. Their names are Dolnesham and Dolvissen. Dolvissen believed that in order to keep everybody from ever becoming violent again, they had to suppress all the knowledge of what happened to their old planet and never bring it up to the people. And Dolnesham, on the other hand, he believed that, well, it's part of their history, they deserve to know it, and they're such a peaceful society that just knowing of the past would actually prevent them from ever acting violently again. So during the debate, suddenly Dolnesham died. No foul play suggested in the books, but after that, Dolvissen led all the other followers of Dolnesham underground. Then he used the spirit power called Grunspeaking to weave vines over the openings of these passages that he led him down to, and basically went back up into the trees where these people lived that later became to be known as Kindar. And the ruling class, which are called the Olzan, they made up these rules about the people that they let underground so that the Kindar can never be corrupt by their ways of thinking. So basically they're never allowed to go down to the forest floor, they're forbidden to even look in their direction, and they tell all the children that there's horrible creatures down there that will basically rip them up and eat them with sharp claws and fangs, and they call the creatures the Pashan. But basically they're just the other race that was driven underground by by Dolwissen. And later, Ramo, who we'll deal with later in the story, decided that he needed to go down and see this stuff for himself, and discovered that these evil creatures underground were just another race of people, and they became known as the Earthlings. So, other than that, I'm not going to give away too much of the story, because if you do want to read it, I would recommend. It's very entertaining. One of my favorite trilogies I've ever read, and it's called the Green Sky Trilogy. The first book's called Below the Root, and the second one's And All Between, and the third book's Until the Celebration. Alright, so what we're going to do on this playthrough is we're going to get absolutely everything that there is to get in the game, like all the main items. So I'm going to start with Genaa. She's Kindar. She starts with absolutely no spirit skill, so she's kind of the more difficult character to use, but since I'm getting everything in this playthrough, I'm going to go ahead and use her. I have to do some quick disk swapping that you probably won't be able to see with my screen recorder here. But it's not the most fascinating thing in the world anyway. Just have to wait. There we go. And we're off. Okay, this item here is called a shuba. That's like a glider suit. Helps you, from falling so you don't crash into the ground, which really isn't that big of a deal on green sky because the gravity's so light that falling really, even for babies, isn't usually fatal, even if they fall from the top of trees. These things that I picked up here, they're called tokens. They're the currency of green sky, and the thing I picked up off the table was food. Okay, first thing I have to do is figure out where I'm at, and it appears we are in Grand Grund. I'm going to keep traveling down to confirm this, but I believe that's where we're at. Yeah. Okay, so we want to head left over to Grund because they've got shops over there, and we're going to get some items. Now, the problem with Genaa early on is, well, this exactly. I have no way of knowing if that guy's a kidnapper or not. Since I can't pets him, I have no way of reading his mind, so I'm just going to have to go back and go around him. And what pensing does, it's one of your spirit abilities. It basically determines what kind of mood a person's in, and pence their emotion, I believe, is what I believe this person's just interested in us. But you pence their emotion, and they could be friendly, curious, or like a lot of times they'll be, we'll find out here. Yep, that was a bad guy. Okay, so we didn't make it, and we have absolutely no way of getting out of here. Because I'm imagining, yeah. See these things, we can't get past these without cutting tools, which is what was on our way to get. But luckily, anytime you get stuck, you can always renew, and it'll send you back to your house, and everything's hunky-dory. The only problem with that is you do lose a day, but you have something like 51 days to beat this, so it's not that big of a deal if you have to renew. The only time it really becomes a problem is if you're somewhere that takes a long time to get to from anywhere, and that can be kind of annoying. Alright, this is Herd's house, so I know how to get to the shops from his place. Alright, just drop down, and here's the Grund shops. And we need one of these. These are called trencher beaks. They're used for cutting. In the books, they come off of giant birds that shed them naturally. The Kindar, which Genaa is a Kindar. Like I said, they're completely peace-loving and no violence, and they don't even hunt animals. They're complete vegetarians. The Earthlings, on the other hand, being forced underground, they didn't have the access to sunlight and everything. Others only like small patches, so they had to resort to, eating meat to survive. And that's actually where the tokens come from, are actually a Earthling concept as well. And now we need to head back up into Grangren here and find our first spirit teacher. I'm not going to be getting that item off to the right in this playthrough. That's a honey lamp. We'll be getting something that works a lot better, so we'll just ignore that. I'm going to do another playthrough where I'm going to do like a much faster playthrough, where I'm just going to get the minimum items that you actually need to be able to beat the game. And actually, I've seen someone actually beat this game without using any honey lamps or the spirit lamp at all, which is, takes some knowing how, but knowing where everything's at. But I guess it could be done, but most people's gonna at least need honey lamps to make it through the game. Okay, oops. Yeah, that stuff's unpassable. We've seen that outside the kidnapper's house. Which I'd like to know where that's at, because I usually don't get kidnapped by the Dulce a lot. Everybody else in the game starts off with this power. Now, speaking of bad guys, there are two bad guy groups in this game. Those guys that got me were the followers of Dulce, which basically he's their Kindar that really dislike the fact that the Earthlings are, moving back into Kindar society, and they want everything to go back to the way it was. So they'll basically kidnap you and try to stop the progression from ever happening. And the Netcom, they're Earthling hostile group that believes that that they just want to rule everything for once and force the Kindar to live underground and imprison them and punish them. And of course Ramo, he's the peacemaker between the two, and for whatever reason he's below the root right now, and we have to go find him. And like I said, I'm really not going to give anything away from the book if you guys decide you want to read it. So anybody else that wants to comment on this, please no spoilers. This is the wise child. A lot of people argue that this is Tira from the books, but Zilpha Keatley Snyder never confirmed or denied that. Okay, Pence Messages is a little deeper version of the Pence. This is more of a mind read, where not only can you Pence their emotion to see how they're feeling, but you can also find out what they're thinking. Like, we'll go ahead and use the Pence here. And if I just had the emotion, it would say hope and joy. Now her message is Ramo's mother can help you. And pensing messages is also important because you have to be able to pense messages before you can pense with the animals. There are both hostile and non-hostile animals in the game, and whenever you come across a non-hostile one, you can pense with it. There are only two of each. There's two hostile and two non-hostile animals. I don't think yeah, here he is. This is called a lapan. It looks like a rabbit. And this is basically the Earthling's main source of food. Okay, and these guys will raise your spirit power by 1. Oh wow, I didn't know I can make that jump. We don't need any more of those berries, but if you get 5 of the animals, then you get another spirit ability. Which you actually, with Genaa, you actually have to pence with 5 animals before you can make it into the temple grund. Which there's one there, there's 3 over here in Sky Grund where we're heading next, and 1 kind of atop of Silk Grund, but he's kind of tricky to get because you have to deal with a kidnapper. Couldn't find the cough button in time. Have to edit that out. Let me get that cough button up here because I feel another one coming on. Alright, yeah, now we're in Sky Grund, and we can get 3 more spirit animals over here. Okay, there should be another vine rope over here to the right. And keep heading up. Okay, this monkey looking thing's called a Sima, and he's the other non-hostile creature that you can pence with. You can actually jump from that ladder and make it over there, but a lot of times it's just quicker to run this way. Especially with the stronger characters like Genaa. Pama can make that jump without a problem. Okay, we're going to take a quick peek at our status here. Yeah, we're not doing too bad. You need to look at the level of rest and food. If those run down to 0, you'll kind of pass out and end up back at your nid. You know, that little hammock thing we all sleep in. Spirit limit is now 12, so we found 2 teachers and 2 monkeys, so or 2 non-hostile animals. So the non-hostiles raise your spirit limit by 1, and the teachers raise it by 5. And your stamina, both your maximum level of rest and food are half of your stamina, and you can actually raise that by you'll see the that item back in. Oh, there's one right up there. It's called Strange Elixir, and there's also one in that prison house that we can actually get it later, but we still can't right now. We'll go ahead and grab that one just because we have an extra vine rope. Well, here we go. Watch the snake. Yep. I don't like eating those right away because they completely fill up and boost your food and rest levels. So I usually wait till I'm pretty darn low before I need them. I believe your stamina has to be 20 in order to make this jump. It's like the kids I don't think can. I know Palma can't, and I don't think Charn can either. Alright, this is my least favorite part. Right here, I always have problems with this spider. Okay, not too bad that time. And this jump gets me a lot too. Alright. Okay, and this snake always gets me a couple times, so hopefully we won't rip her Shuba. Alright. Oh no. Yeah, you'll probably see that a lot. There's a bit of delay from the time you push the button till you actually jump, so it's tricky to get used to. Oh no. Alright, that wasn't so bad. Alright, so now our rest and food levels are pretty low, so we'll go ahead and rest here in this nid. Alright, and we'll go ahead and eat our strange elixir, and we feel much stronger. As you notice there, whenever you sleep, your food drops really quick, so make sure you have food anytime you're going to rest. Okay, so we took a nap in the sky nid and found ourselves a dream, which is one of the hints that a character in the game will give you to find this place. And this is Dol Nesham. I told you about him a little bit at the beginning of the playthrough. And we get the power to heal ourselves, which is always nice. You basically just trade some spirit for both food and rest levels. And we get the spirit bell. And what this does is locate hidden doors for you. There's really only 2 in the game, and if you know where there are, the first one's pretty obvious, but the second one not so much. But if you know where it's at, really you don't need that item, but I mean, it's right there and you just pick it up, so why not? Okay, I believe there's another animal down here if we go to the left a little. Yeah, there he is. Another Lapan. Okay, so where are we at? Spirit limit 18, so we need 2 more. Okay. Do we need any of that? Yeah, we'll take that rope. Alright, kinda gotta stay in this area. Yeah, here's the tree the other Lapan's in. And I don't think you have to crouch to pence with those guys, but I don't know, I think I just kind of got in the habit of doing it and have always done it. Alright, so now we have to head back over towards Skygrun, because there's one more animal we could pence with along the way to teach us our next ability that we need in order to get into Temple Grun. And I believe it's at the top, it's either at the top of Grand Grun or Silk Grun. So we'll just head over that way and start heading up once we get to Grand Grun. I do believe he's more along the lines of the Silk Grun area, but we'll find him regardless. You know what gruns are? These giant trees that everybody builds houses in. In this game, there's Sky Grun going from left to right. There's Sky Grun, Garden Grun, Grand Grun, I'm sorry, Broad Grun, Grand Grun, Silk Grun, Star Grun, and Temple Grun. And we're above Broad Grun now. It seems like every other screen one way is the next Grund. Okay, well, I guess 2 screens now. So this should be the outskirts of Grand Grun here. Yeah. And we'll just go ahead and head up to where we found the hermit, and we'll head the opposite direction to try to find this last animal that we need. I'm thinking it's between Silk and Star Grun, but just in case he's here, this way we don't have to go back if he is. Okay, yeah, this is somebody's house, I think. Yeah, I believe this is Charn's house. And yeah, he does. He starts right by the animal. You can always tell another quester's house because they've got the same starting stuff that you have in it. Like these people, if you talk to her, if she likes you, she'll offer you a token or whatever they have laying around their house. But some people don't like Kindar and some people don't like Earthlings, so it's just a crapshoot of whether they're gonna like you or not. And there's a kidnapper that spawns here sometimes as well, so that's why I was kind of careful walking through there. And here's the last animal that we're going to need to pence with. Okay, now we've learned how to Grunspreak. Which we're going to have to take advantage of here real soon. Alright, status is good. What Grunspreaking does is you can walk to the end of any tree branch and Grunspreak, and it causes it to grow a little bit. So basically you get a free bridge anywhere just as long as you have spirit. And here we are in Star Grunt already, so perfect. Worked out perfectly. I believe this is a quester's house as well. Yeah, this is where Narek starts, I believe. So now we get to try out our fancy new Grundspreak ability. Oh, almost took too many steps. And you need to grow this limb out as far as it'll go. Alright. So now just get a running jump. Alright, we should be good. And just cleared it good. Alright, and that's the only way to get into Temple Grund without the temple key. But of course the temple key is in Temple Grund, so how that happened I have no idea. Ouch. Alright, she is a very important person from the book. And according to the manual, she's the one that sends you off on this silly quest. But you have to talk to her before you try to pick up her key, or else the game won't let you pick it up. And this guy, I believe, has a typo. Yeah, it just says D Fala awaits, and that was Dolfala up top, but her name's actually Dolfala. Even if when you talk to her, it says Dolfala. You know, something about seek the forgotten key. It now belongs to you. Alright, so now we're gonna head up and get the temple key, which is not Dolfala's key that she was talking about. We'll get that here in a minute. And there's another one of those elixirs up here, which we're getting to the point where we're going to need another one, so we'll take that and we'll be good. Alright, that spider is a pain in the butt to get by. So what I do here is just crouch and use the vine rope, and it gets you right past him. You can actually jump off the edge right here and go over to the left and land right where you need to be, but I want this strange elixir up here, which unfortunately is guarded by another spider that's incredibly inconveniently placed. And this is Ramu's mother, which kind of bothers me if you play this game with going all the way back to Temple, but this time we don't have to climb up into Star and do the grunt speaking because we've got the key. And unfortunately we have to come clear back here once we get into Temple Grund. Or, Temple Grund. To get back to where you actually get down to the below the root part. Yeah, this should be high enough to get us to Garden. Yeah, this is Garden. So if you actually get kidnapped by the Necom, they'll take you to their prison house and they'll have a wand of Befall in there. And basically what that is a machete that, like a trencher beak, will cut through the whatever you call it stuff, the briars or whatever they are. But unlike a trencher beak, it'll never break. So you could use it over and over again, and you can actually kill people with it. But killing people permanently lowers your spirit, and you can actually make the game unbeatable if you kill too many people. What do I want to do? Heal. Now keep us going. To Herd's house. And you can't take any of the other questers' stuff out of their house, even though it's always laying there. And I'm not sure if you could sleep in their nids or not. I've never tried. I kinda doubt it. And the other questers, for whatever reason, are never in their house. Yeah, this person's nothing to worry about. I almost want to get kidnapped by a Dol Salat person again, just so I can figure out where exactly their hideout's at. So I don't know where that one's at. The Netcom's down there on the ground level where we was at by right when we got to those briars. And I couldn't go to the left because I only had one trencher beak, and there's a lot more or a lot more sets of briars, and there'd just be no way we could cut through them all with one trencher beak. Okay, so now we should be in Stargrund, and Temple is right up the way, so we're doing good. Okay, so we no longer need the temple key. So we'll leave it in a more convenient place for the next quester to find. You do have a limit on how much stuff you can carry, and I don't know how close I am to it, because I've got a couple extra things that I really don't need. And this is where Dolfala's key is useful. And this is a Chamber of the Forgotten, which in the book is where the Kandar hid everything away from, or the Old Zan hid everything away from the Kandar people so they wouldn't know about their history. Those had like weapons and paintings and stuff like that from their old planet that they just wanted to keep hidden away and be forgotten. But it also has the spirit lamp. which is just like a honey lamp except for it never burns out, and I should have jumped. If you jump off that screen, you can actually make it through this first gate and only have to unlock one. But it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't play the music on the exit. Alright, now we just need to head back up and Shuba over this lake. That's down to our right. And make it back over to the bottom of Skygrund. And we'll actually be going below the root, because now we have everything we need to get to the end game. Oh, I forgot about this guy. Caught me last time I did that. Okay, this is where we climbed up from the ground last time, so we're definitely far enough over. Perfect. This is where we need to go to get to the end game. He wants to see your pass, but you can pinch him, and he says I'd settle for some good berry. So what you gotta do is offer him the wisdom berries, and he lets you in. And those wisdom berries are kind of an intoxicant. They kind of space people out and make them feel all peaceful and joyful, and they like to take them if they're having a bad day. Even the kids use them, so they're pretty much accepted by everybody. This guy, he just wants some coins, so we've got plenty of tokens. We'll give him one, and in we go. Now, without either a honey lamp or the spirit lamp, this place is completely dark and you can't see anything, so that's why you need one or the other. And as you see here, that's what the spirit bell does when you get by a hidden door. I was just thinking, did I learn to kineport tools? Yeah, okay. So we're good. Yeah, if you come down here with one honey lamp, that's all you need. You'll find enough to oh crap. I don't think we can actually win without a Shuba. Yeah, we might be fine. As long as I got a vine rope. Okay, yeah, we're good. So check my status. Alright, should heal up here in a little bit. We will be able to access another strange elixir, so I might just hold off and see if we can make it there before we end up passing out. Probably shouldn't do that though. Alright, this place is just horrible. Those guys can walk back and forth and just get you trapped in one spot till you end up going back to your house. So, yeah, Never fun when a spider or a snake gets a hold of you. Alright, right up here is where that elixir is, I believe. Yep. Alright, we'll get to make use out of our kineport ability. Go ahead and kineport that elixir right to us. Go ahead and take it. Go ahead and eat it. And get out of here. And that's supposed to happen. So that's nothing to worry about. I'm not even sure if you could jump that gap even if you wanted to, but I know you have to come this way, so nothing to worry about. And alright. Like I said, this one's kind of obvious that there's a door here. You know, if you couldn't figure it out, your spirit bell would help you out. Okay, now we can kineport our body. Which basically means teleport. Just as long as you can see where you want to go to, you can basically teleport from one point on the screen to any other point on the screen, which is helpful for getting around bushes or kidnappers, or at the end of the game here we'll see another use for it, which is coming up shortly. Actually, I think there's only one more spider we gotta jump, and one kind of tricky part. Jump afterwards. Okay, here's the spider, which I'm really not too concerned about him getting me now, because the shoe was already ripped. Uh-oh, we might get spider locked. Oh no, come on, jump, 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 jump. Okay. You know what? Show off that fancy kineport. Forget that spider. Okay, I forgot we did just eat our strange elixir, so he could have trapped us for a little while longer before he was in any danger of getting sent back home. And that's the bottomless lake that was mentioned before that Ramo got himself tangled up in. Actually, you're supposed to go to the right here, but I just want to go to the left to show you something over here. There's the bottomless lake, which apparently it is bottomless. And we got another hidden door. And actually, if you continue on this way, if you don't pick up the spirit bell, usually there's a kidnapper here, but I haven't had my way with this kidnapper since the beginning of the game. I'm not sure if he's Netcom or Salat, Salat's people, or whatever his name is. I can't think right now, but there's usually a kidnapper there. Salat, yeah. But there's a Lapan, and there's Mr. Ramo. And this is why we actually need the kineport body ability, so we can get up and talk to him. He's afraid of falling, and if you pinch him, he'll say I need a rope or a shuba. Now, most people I see play this game think you need to have 2 shubas, but you can always give him the shuba you're wearing. And I mean, you don't need it. You can teleport yourself back down there to get out of here if you need be. Just offer him either your Shuba or your vine rope, and that's game.